Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem HaKadosh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, or the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who are risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalia, and this video is about this situation right here, the plague, a pestilence, all right, which pestilence is going to be a part of the judgment of Yahweh Shemeshai in these last days. Is a part of Bible prophecy to happen, all right? And so I just seen this while scrolling through the YouTube, and apparently the bubonic plague is back, right? From MSN, first bubonic plague death confirmed in US since 2007. Okay, a bubonic plague death has been confirmed in the US for the first time in 8 years. The victim of Coconino County showed up at the Flagstaff Medical Center and died on the same day, said Northern Arizona Healthcare. Despite attempts to provide life-saving resuscitation, the patient did not recover. It is the first recorded black death fatality in the county since 2007. The victim interacted with a dead animal infected with the pneumonic plague, which causes severe lung infection, according to the Coconino County Health and Human Services. Okay, so that's what they're reporting there. And as you can see, man, 12 hours ago, 2 days ago, 1 day ago. So this is fresh. All right, this one human plague death was confirmed in northern Arizona. What to know, Yahoo News. All right, on July 11th. Today is July 13th, 2025. Okay, so, you know, in addition to the 2025 case, there were 2 cases in 2007, including the death, 1 in 2008, 2 in 2015, 1 in 2017, and 1 in 2020. The county's confirmation of the death came after Northern Arizona Healthcare issued a statement that one of his patients had a presumptive positive diagnosis of Yersinia pestis, which is the bacterium that causes plague. Okay. And then let's see what the most recent one is saying. Rare plague death confirmed in Arizona. Human-to-human transmission is exceedingly rare, with the last reported case in the US in 1924, according to the National Institutes of Health. And you know what? As you can see there, it's like a time period since, right? And then even this article is saying, you know, human-to-human transmission is exceedingly rare, with the last reported case in the US in 1924. But, you know, the days that we're in, you know, the signs are all there, right? Because in 2 Ezra chapter 9, it says that the Lord has endings in effects and powerful signs, to paraphrase. All right, so we'll be seeing all kinds of things happen that, you know, it's deemed as quote-unquote unprecedented and stuff like that. All right, so this one says an Arizona resident has died from the pneumonic plague, marking the first death since 2007. The individual died from a severe lung infection caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis. Health officials said the death is not linked to a recent prairie dog die-off in the area. The last recorded death from pneumonic plague in the county occurred in 2007 and was related to contact with a dead animal. So then, do they know how it was, how the person got it? It says no additional details about the victim were released. Plague is rare in humans, with an average of 7 cases reported annually in the United States. According to the CDC, the risk of public exposure remains low. The disease is most often transmitted through the bite of an infected flea or contact with an infected animal. Human-to-human transmission is exceedingly rare, has been since 1924. Since plague is endemic in the Southwest, Coconino County maintains a surveillance system to monitor the disease. County health officials recommend precautions to reduce exposure, avoid contact with wild rodents and dead animals, use insect repellent, and tuck pant cuffs into socks to prevent flea bites. But I mean, if it's a flea bite that the person got it from, and it's a flea bite that is spreading plague, then wouldn't that be something that's going to spread rapidly? We'll just have to wait and see. Treat pets with flea preventatives and keep them leashed. Prevent rodent. Okay, so they're just saying that human symptoms typically develop within 1 to 8 days after exposure and can include fever, chills, headaches, weakness, and muscle pain. Swollen lymph nodes such as buboes may also occur. Plague can be successfully treated with antibiotics if diagnosed early. Health officials advise anyone experiencing symptoms to see a doctor immediately and to inform them of any possible exposure to rodents or fleas. The fleas? But fleas are just kind of like anywhere, right? They can just land on you randomly, pitch, and bite. This situation is very interesting, but you know what? It's just going to be something to monitor. Now, regarding the scriptures, 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 5 says, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction." All right, so in these last days, which is the rulership of the so-called white man, who is the biblical Edomites, who is wicked, we're going to be experiencing all of these prophecies come to pass, man, and they're not pleasant prophecies. They are terrible prophecies. Jacob's trouble, World War III, and with Jacob's trouble, all of the things that comes with it, famine, the sword, death, destruction, and pestilence is a part of this. And pestilence is something that we'll be seeing in the end of days. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So the end of the world is talking about the end of an age. The word world here is G165, which goes into the word aeon, which says a period of time or an age. All right, then let's go to verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So these things are going to be happening, and these are just the beginning of sorrows. All right, for what the world is going to be experiencing. Great judgment from Yahweh Shemishan. The only way to be able to escape these judgments is to have faith in Yahweh Shemishan, ultimately to be a part of the elect. All right, which then, the elect members will have faith in the Lord. All right, so for the Israelites out there that refuse to repent, refuse to return to our power, you're going to be dying of these things, man. And this whole bubonic plague thing, right, that's what they're calling it, first bubonic plague death since 2007. Some are just calling it plague, whatever else. But what else here? All right, so yeah, it's really fresh, and we'll just see how it continues to escalate. But it's a part of Bible prophecy that this will happen. And America is the modern day Egypt, right? America, Revelation chapter 11 and verse 8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. What's the great city? Mystery Babylon the Great, which is America, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So it is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. So America takes on to the spirit of Sodom, which means that it is like Sodom. It takes on to the spirit of Egypt, which means that it is like Egypt. All right, so this is like modern day Egypt for us. Okay, and in like Isaiah 19, for example, when it's talking about Egypt, it's talking about America. All right, the scriptures say that the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. Okay, and then let's consider this. It is out of great tribulation that we're going to be saved, right? Just like how in ancient Egypt, we were saved out of a form of tribulation, right? We were delivered out of that captivity, and all kinds of things were happening during that time. The Lord was judging the Egyptians, all right? Which those Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians, are the Hamites, who are those so-called Africans, okay? So the scriptures say that there's no new thing under the sun, and it is out of plague, pestilence, famine, tribulation, that we're going to be delivered out of once again in this modern day Egypt, which is this modern day captivity, overall. Okay, so Daniel 12 and verse 1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. All right, so it is out of all of these things that are going to be happening, okay, that we'll be delivered out of. Just like how in ancient Egypt, the Lord sent all kinds of things, plague and pestilence, onto the Egyptians. All right, same thing is going to happen again. The modern day Egyptians, they're going to be feeling it again. They're going to be feeling it. All right, and the modern day Pharaoh is the nation that is ruling over us, which are the Edomites. Okay, so it's going to be the same thing, man. Once again, Ezekiel 7 and verse 15, the sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. So, this is what's coming, man. All right, and the Lord is going to be using the Edomites, these so-called white people, as the vessel to bring about a lot of these things, the famine, the pestilence, etc. All right, as it says in Revelation chapter 12, Revelation chapter 6 and verse 8, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, which is a miracle, that fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Right, so Esau, Edom is going to be bringing great hell to this earth because they want to establish their NWO, their New World Order. So, pestilence is actually a certain tool that they have used before to accelerate their NWO, right? The pestilence in 2020, And so they're going to be unleashing, pestilence. Well, this time, it's going to be truly deadly. You know what I'm saying? Because, the one before, you know what it is. But there is going to be pestilence that is truly going to be slapping people down by the hundreds and by the thousands. And so we'll just have to see how this develops, man. But this is a part of end time prophecy, man. And, in Matthew 24, I want to point out, it said, 24 and verse 7, it says pestilences. So it's not just going to be one pestilence. It's going to be a mixture of them, a plethora of pestilences that are going to be ravaging the world. All right. So, the uptick of the pestilences is in fact a sign of the end. Okay. So, I'll keep track of it, see how it continues to develop. There was a whole bird flu situation before, which when you Google the bird flu, it's like kind of contradicting reports, right? Because I saw it was saying that they're no longer treating it as a state of emergency or something like that, right? Emergency response, right? They ended the emergency response 5 days ago, but then look at this, 2 days ago, child hospitalized abroad as bird flu cases climb. So the bird flu isn't going away, and that's just another pestilence, and who knows what else is going to show up, what the name is going to be, but it is going to happen. It's a part of these end time prophecies, man. And once again, the only way to be able to not be judged from it is to really be a part of the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, so those of us of the hopeful elect, we hope to be saved. We hope to be preserved from the perils that are coming. That is where our faith is. So with that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai Bashum Kodesh. Shalom.